Tension is very high in Kenya Kwanza as we speak. And it will take Solomonic wisdom from William Samoei Arap Ruto to avert a possible fallout in the outfit. Yesterday, William Ruto chaired a Kenya Kwanza Parliamentary group meeting at State House in Nairobi. And during that meeting, they agreed on 5 names to be nominated to the East African Legislative Assembly. But something was very clear from that meeting, that Mount Kenya did not produce a single nominee to the East African Legislative Assembly. And you could tell from the facial expression of Ndindi Nyoro and Kimani Ichung'wah. During yesterday's meeting, Hassan Omar was nominated from Mombasa. Iman Falhada was nominated from Northeastern. Charles Muteti from Ukambani was nominated. Zipporah Kering from Nandi was nominated. And David Sonkok from Masai was also nominated. Which means nobody from Mountain will go to the East African Legislative Assembly unless will be nominated from the Azimio side. There are 2 candidates. There was Kubai Iringo from Meru, and then there was Geoffrey Maina, the young man. But clearly, and according to reliable information, members of parliament or leaders from the larger Rift Valley conspired to lock out Mount Kenya from getting any nominee to the East African Legislative Assembly. And the question is, why would they do that? Because you can't talk of Kenya Kwanza minus Mount Kenya. You can't talk of UDA minus Mount Kenya. You can't talk of William Ruto's presidency minus Mount Kenya. So in this video, I want to explain to you guys the main reasons why Rift Valley MPs ganged up against Mount Kenya. And at the end of the day, they didn't get anything. Before we do that, in case you're watching the channel for the first time, please take a second or 2, click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support, because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Now, let us get back to the main issue. There is there's voting which has taken place in at the Senate. So far, Kennedy Kalonzo has 45 votes. Suleiman Shebal has 38 votes. Winnie Odinga has 35 votes. Fatuma Gedi has 31 votes. And Kanini Kega has 29. Azimio will get only 4 slots. So which means Fatuma Gedi, Winnie Odinga, Shebal, and Kalonzo, Kennedy Kalonzo will qualify. Kanini Kega is out, but I would have really wished for him to qualify. I'm not so sure whether the National Assembly will vote. If National Assembly will vote, probably he might still have a chance. But let us just focus on what took place yesterday. During the voting, it became clear that Mount Kenya was shortchanged. Why were they shortchanged by their Rift Valley counterparts? Number one is that there is a strategy to provoke Mount Kenya, especially Rigathi Gachagua, Kimani Ichung'wah, and Ndindi Nyoro, so that they can react. William Ruto and his brigades really wants to feel the reaction of these people. So they just provoked them by ensuring that nobody from the mountain sailed through. Because if it was by voting and Mount Kenya are the majority, per tribe yani. Why were they defeated? If they voted for Ruto together, it was just expected that Mount Kenya was going to receive support, full support from their Rift Valley counterpart. It didn't happen. So they just, someone was just keen on provoking the mountain so that they can react. And that reaction should come early enough so that William Ruto and his team will figure out how they can deal with it. So we are going to measure the success of Kenya Kwanza on how the mountain is going to react. So that's number two. There is a strong feeling that Mount Kenya actually benefited more at the initial stages, and that now other tribes should benefit. That Kenya Kwanza will no longer just favor Mount Kenya because they delivered the votes. They argued that they have the deputy president at the National Assembly. They have the slot of the majority leader in the name of Kimani Ichung'wah. They dominate, Mount Kenya dominate in parliament majority of the committees. They also argue that if you look at the composition of the cabinet, Mount Kenya dominate. And therefore, it was time now to start giving other regions the chance. And what a better place to do this? The East African Legislative Assembly. So they teamed up with the Coastal Region and they voted for Hassan Omar. They went and teamed up with the Northeastern. Then they had Falhada Amin. Then Ukambani. The exchange for Ukambani was Kennedy Kalonzo votes. So in Ukambani, they voted for Fred Muteti. Then they went and voted for Rift Valley, 2 individuals. I don't know why there was nobody from from Western Kenya, but that's how the vote ended. So someone argued that Mount Kenya is already dominating Kenya Kwanza government from the DP, majority leader, and the rest, and therefore they needed to bring the others on board. Number 3 is 2027 politics. And I've always opined on this platform, and so many people sometimes disagree with me, that William Ruto might actually not go with Rigathi Gachagua as his running mate. And if he has to go with him as his running mate, then Rigathi Gachagua will have to be really, really tamed. So how do you tame Rigathi Gachagua? Ensure you don't empower him. When the elections for the EALA came up, team up with the Coastal Region so that you can consolidate Raila Odinga support base. Then go to Northeastern so that you can appease them. Go to Kambani so that Kalonzo can be on standby. So for me, the whole idea is basically to consolidate Raila Odinga's strongholds. Remember how Hassan Omar nomination excited the people of the Coastal Region? That ODM would not have given Coastal Region an opportunity. And of course, now there's Shabal. And do you know what has happened? Shabal has actually been voted for by majority of Mount Kenya senators. So that's how politics is. So Shabal has been voted for by those senators, in the hope that those senators were going to now vote for Kanini Kega, so that they don't miss out, Mount Kenya don't miss out. But the truth is, the idea is to consolidate Raila Odinga's stronghold so that they can support William Samoei Arap Ruto. Number 4, and this I'm told is a very serious issue, is that most of members of parliament from the Rift Valley are actually protesting against the leadership of Kimani Ichung'wah in parliament. Kimani Ichung'wah is the majority leader, and they argue that when he was forming committees, he favored the mountain and that he cannot be reached. He's not listening to anybody. So they just wanted to teach Kimani Ichung'wah a political lesson. So Kimani Ichung'wah has now been taught a political lesson, And I don't know how he's going to go to the mountain and tell them that we went for hunting, then we came empty, empty-handed. And lastly, there is also this feeling that the mountain is actually feeling self-entitled to everything in Kenya Kwanza. That Kenya Kwanza cannot stand on its feet without Mount Kenya. And that's why these people decided, okay, if you feel entitled, go and win. Because Mount Kenya believes they have the numbers that William Ruto would easily just go and direct the people. And the question I asked myself yesterday, why would Mount Kenya miss out? And why would William Ruto convene this meeting at State House and ensure that by the time he was leaving, nobody from the mountain got anything, while majority of members of parliament there were from the mountain? So there's a strong feeling in Kenya Kwanza that the mountain feels that they are entitled to everything, that they don't need to negotiate, they don't need to lobby. So they were taught that next time you want something, you must look for your brothers and sisters from the Rift Valley, talk to them. Because look at what has emerged now, 2 people from Rift Valley, none from the mountain, and none from Western Kenya. And lastly, I think it could have been a kind of trade-off. During nomination to the National Assembly, Mount Kenya had the highest majority in from Kenya Kwanza. So I think they agreed that, okay, you benefited from that. Now, this other one, we are going to also tell our people that we have delivered the Kericho, we have delivered the Masai one, and that we've managed to now lock out the mountain. I mean, the mountain. I don't know what you think, but for me, those are my reasons. Enjoy your day. Bye-bye.